ICSE go ahead.
Saharsh.
I love Lion International School.
Actually, Nehru. What about you?
Anchorwala education.
Endeavor.
Anchorwala
Acha,
education.
Anchorwala. Okay. Sorry. And what's your name? You said
Ganga.
Ganga. Okay, good. And
Sia Patil from Ryan.
Ryan Vashi.
Name.
They don't know. Na? Vashi, there is no this thing. Sanpada, there is one school. Na? Ryan. Okay. And
Srijani.
Srijini. Okay.
Sadhu Aswani.
Sadhu Aswani. That is here. Sanpada. Na?
It's in from 7th Adventist School, ICSE.
Seventh Day Adventist. Okay. And Nidhi. Good. So now, today, you have started with any topic in chemistry? Which topic? Periodic table, isn't it? Because that is the first topic normally they start. So here also we are going to start with the first topic. Okay? Now, since it is the first day, and this is the crucial year of your career, we can say, or your education. Okay? So, 1 minute prayer before we start with, the lecture. Whatever prayer you do at home or maybe in the school or at the assembly, okay, just 1 minute you have to close your eyes so that concentration will be inward. Just do 1 minute prayer so that everything goes well before the exam, preparation of the exam, during the exam and after the exam. And not only for you, but all others who are actually trying, okay, their level best for all the boards exams, as well as, let us say, other, standards like 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever, your brothers, sister, just pray for everybody. Just 1 minute prayer. Just put your eyes in. Okay. If you finish, then you can open your eyes. Okay, so now we are going for this. What's the name? Diksha. Which school? Sadhu Aswani. Good. Now, so let us see this periodic table going. Have you finished this topic?
Yes.
So let us understand this periodic table. Okay, and of course the periodic properties. First part of this topic is periodic table. So we are going to understand what is the meaning of periodic table. That is the introduction. Okay, let me give you the briefing first. Meaning of periodic table is nothing but what? Basically, it's an arrangement of elements in the increasing order of their atomic numbers. Okay. So when the atomic number is actually what? Going on increasing from one element to the other, then you find that although the atomic number is going on increasing for the elements, the properties, they repeat at regular intervals. What is the properties recurring? The recurrence of properties. No. Have you signed?
No.
Now see. Sign it out. Name is there in the list.
Yeah.
Please sign corresponding to your name. Okay, what's the name? Ishwar. Good. Now we were starting the topic, and therefore, where is the light is there or not?
so that you get some light, you are able to see, otherwise you will strain your eyes. Okay. Now, first is what is periodic table? I'm just again started with this, and the first thing is what is the meaning of periodic table? Periodic table meaning means what? Like for example, something which is periodic. Periodic means something which is recurring. And what is recurring? Basically the properties. But properties are based on what? Atomic number. Means how the properties are actually recurring at regular intervals. Okay? It is because when we try to actually write the elements, the atomic number definitely will vary. But what will happen? Don't write anything, listen to it. So atomic number, as it actually what goes on increasing, how the properties are recurring, that is a very important question in our mind. Okay? Now with the help of atomic number, we are able to write what? The electronic configuration. So the electronic configuration decides two things. One is, it decides the physical properties as well as the chemical properties of the elements. Now physical properties, how? Definitely the number of electrons which are there in the various shells, okay, will decide whether the element is actually what? Having few electrons or many electrons. Okay? If they are few, okay, or maybe many, what will happen? We will come to know whether they will actually what? Form an ionic bond or covalent bond. If they are having few electrons, they will form ionic bond. And at the same time, they are having many electrons, also they will form ionic. How? If they are having many, they will try to gain. If they are having few, they will try to lose. Losing and gaining will lead to ionic bond formation. But if they are having in between, then they will form covalent bonds. Now that means from this particular, electronic configuration, we come to know how many electrons are present, how many electrons are present in the outermost shell, how many electrons are present. And on the basis of that, they can actually decide what type of bonding they can form. And on the basis of bond, we can decide the physical properties. What are the physical properties? Hardness of an element,
Malleability.
melting point,
Malleability.
ductility, boiling point, density, magnetic properties, solubility, color, etc., etc. On the basis of electrons. Likewise, on the basis of the valence electrons, we can decide their chemical properties also. It's like saying this way: if the chemical properties are similar, that means they have same number of valence electrons. Yes or no?
Yes.
Valence electrons, if they are same, then definitely valency will be same because they will behave in a similar manner. So after some time, what happens? The number of electrons in the outermost shell, valence electrons means electrons present in the outermost shell, they become same. And as a result, the chemical properties also become similar. Right? And therefore, there is a recurrence in the properties. Like after day, what comes? Night. And after night, again day. As the phenomenon around us are repeated at regular intervals, they are called as what? Periodic properties. So as phenomenon are actually what? Are again made up of what? Elements, or maybe, for example, various particles or various substances. So likewise, in our system also, or for these elements also, okay, there is a recurrence in the properties. Now, what is important? How these elements, when the elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number, who thought this particular idea, or who gave this idea, or who cracked this idea, was mostly, okay, Henry Moseley. The credit goes to him, and he said, "Sir, we are going to arrange the elements in the increasing order of their atomic number, and the properties of the elements will repeat after regular intervals." And he came with the modern periodic law. Right now, this is called modern periodic law. We are not going for that Mendeleev and other things. Why? Because you've done in your 9th standard. This 10th standard, huh? तुमको वो सब पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं. Propert, Newland, Mendeleev. We are straight on the modern periodic table. Because only you've done that. Modern periodic table or modern periodic law, what it states that the physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic number. What it means? It means that when the elements are arranged in an increasing order of their atomic number, the physical and the chemical properties will be actually what? Will show periodic property, will periodically show the properties. Okay, that is periodic means the properties will recur at regular intervals. Means the atomic number decides or is responsible or is related, function is related with what? The periodicity of elements, and due to that, the physical and the chemical properties will have repetition. That's the meaning. Okay? And therefore, now how? For that, what we require? So, according to Mosley, he said that we will require 18 vertical columns. And those 18 vertical columns will be called as groups. Because that time many elements were discovered. And there will be, for example, 7 horizontal rows called periods. This vertical columns and horizontal rows are nothing but boxes in which we are going to place the element. And once we place the elements in the increasing order of their atomic number, after certain regular interval, the element Y or maybe F, whatever, okay, will have similarities with E. But element, let us say Z, will have dissimilarities. Why? Because they are in the different groups. If this is group 1, suppose, this is group 2. If they are present in different groups, then properties will be different. And if they are in the same group, properties will be similar. That's just like our family members. You have a family and the family members are having similarities, but you and let us say your neighboring family members, there will be dissimilarities. I'm not saying total, but there will be some kind of differences. And that is called gradation in the properties. Remember, okay, like you are studying in 10th standard, your neighboring member of that other family also is studying in 10th standard, but there are some differences. Your blood group is A plus, and that other person's blood group is AB plus. Just a simple kind of difference. But in your case, family members also the blood group will be different, but similarities will be more. Okay, that is right. We are going to see the whole periodic table over here now. So I'll draw the periodic table completely, and then we'll discuss out one by one the salient features of the modern periodic table. Because 1 or 2 questions they ask in the board exam. Again, you would like to write this? Please write down. You are having notebook, children. Now you start. Which book you are referring? Textbook? Dalal or Dalal? You are referring different book. Which one? Evergreen. 7th-day Adventist is referring Evergreen, na? Huh? Which one? Evergreen. Yes. Some students are using which one? Cellular publication. Brother. There's another book, Brother. Okay, good. So no problem. See, content will be slightly different, but the concept will remain same. Okay, done?
Yes, sir.
So this can be one more question that state periodic, modern periodic law, or they will give you in the form of fill in the blanks. What how the physical and the chemical properties of elements are periodic functions of the dash. Atomic number. Earlier it was atomic mass. But atomic mass is a fundamental property for physical properties. Because mass represents physical. Mass itself is physical. That's why Mendeleev's periodic table is able to explain you best possible way for physical properties. Remember, and not chemical. Chemical, where there was a kind of we can say unbalance over there. Okay, this is what the okay. Let us see this periodic table because this periodic table mostly has given. So let us up till now no other scientist is actually able to give such a easy way of understanding the periodic table. So let us see this modern periodic table. Okay, this modern periodic table. I will just draw and then we'll discuss out one by one. Okay. Now, let us come to this. I'll draw it and accordingly you will also open your textbook because our volume, the whole volume I think has come. So in that, the updation has not been done. So we'll use the updated periodic table from your Viraf Dalal or maybe your, okay, because new elements have not come. This may take some time, but time is important to me. Second topic also you started chemical bonding.
Yes, chemical bonding, sir.
Also started.
Yes.
Now what you will do, you can either draw the periodic table in this manner, okay, or you can use this whole page, both the pages. You can read this, take this page out in this manner, right? So that this periodic table will be drawn by yourself, that particular satisfaction is different. So I'm just looking into the periodic table. So what I suggest, along with me, you will also draw the periodic table so that the time will be saved. It may take some time, but this is the gist part of the chapter, periodic table. Okay. Let us see, that this periodic table is a wide periodic table. And of course, a lot of things are there in this periodic table. Okay, because we are studying 180 elements, which is not going to take, in, let us say, short period of time. The scientists have used their whole life almost. We are trying to study 15 or half an hour, 15 minutes, half an hour, maybe one lecture or two lectures. That's enough. Because while studying, doing research, a lot of time is taken. Okay, but to explain it, definitely it takes shorter time. So let's, have you done all of you? Okay, आपका?
Sir,
गलत बन गया. Nothing to worry because Mosley also tried many times. So you are in the same boat as Mosley was there about many years back. He also tried many times. ठीक है, nothing to worry. Don't draw it now. अभी घर में जाके आराम से शांति पूर्वक कर लो. ठीक है, और just tell yourself that if I can do it. I can't but I can. Right? So I can अगर तो पूरा ना आपको easy पड़ेगा. कुछ भी चीज difficult नहीं, सब चीज easy है. Only thing is you have to tell yourself. Okay? अपना बॉडी में वाइब्रेशन आना चाहिए. I can. माइंड में तो आ गया I can. बट उसके साथ बॉडी में भी आना चाहिए. माइंड कुछ क्या बोल रहा है? I can. बॉडी क्या बोल रहा है? I can't. तो नहीं चलती. ठीक है? हम लोग को दोनों को सिंक करना है. ये इम्पोर्टेंट चीज. एग्जाम के लिए तुमने पढ़ लिया, माइंड पूरा तैयार है, बट बॉडी इज नॉट अलाउड. बॉडी को बोलना है I can. Because you have to reach the examination hall also. ठीक है ना? That time you have to keep your physical as well as mental strength together. That is called synchronization. ठीक है ना? So sir, the moment I, for example, I go for the examination, I get stomach ache. और फिर तुम कहाँ चले जाते हो? स्कूल के जगह से opposite side. कहाँ पे? वॉशरूम. उसमें ऐसा होगा because that is normally what happens. You become nervous, and that is natural because every student, because finally what affects our stomach because of this mind, because you become nervous in spite of studying completely. सबके साथ होता है. ठीक है? So nothing to worry, but then you have to control yourself. Then I will do it. Okay. Now what is modern periodic table? As you can see, this is a white periodic table over here. ठीक है? It consists of this particular periodic table consists of 18 vertical columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 vertical columns are required for this periodic table and 7 horizontal rows. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, from this end to this. This is the start of the periodic table, that is the end of the periodic. Because if you start something, somewhere you have to end. When you start writing the paper, you will say, sir, I am ending my paper. So like this periodic table. This is the start of the periodic table, that is the end of the periodic. Now, how the elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number. Number 1 element, hydrogen. 70% in the universe. The most abundant element in the universe, hydrogen. ठीक है? यूनिवर्स में सबसे नंबर 1 पे है और उसको नंबर 1 दिए. उसका नंबर 1 से बहुत पुराना नाता है. What is that? Atomic number 1. Number 1 element. Number 1 in the universe. No, only 1 electron and only 1 proton. सब number 1 पे चल रहे. 2, helium. Next is lithium. Now see, once we start from that, we come over here, then again we have to go there back. Lithium. Like when you complete one answer, full page is over, you start with the next page. New page you start with. So now lithium, then beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Again neon के बाद यहाँ. Sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon. Then potassium, 19, calcium, scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc, gallium, germanium, arsenic, selenium, bromine, krypton, 36. Then rubidium, वहाँ पे, strontium, yttrium, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium. Technetium is an artificially prepared element. It is there in the nature, but a very small quantity. Now they are, of course, by advanced kind of technology, they are able to isolate technetium. Otherwise, it was artificially prepared in the lab. Okay, technetium. That's why the word technetium. Technetium. Okay? Ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silver, cadmium, indium, tin, antimony, tellurium, iodine, xenon, cesium, barium, lanthanum to lutetium. Now, यहाँ पे these elements are together, 14 elements together. Lanthanum, the elements which are following lanthanum are called lanthanoids. And the elements which are following actinium are called as actinoids. They are present together over here In this third group at 6th period, and third group at 7th period. They are called lanthanides, they are called actinoids. Okay, lanthanides, why? Because they follow lanthanum. They are called as what? Actinides because they follow actinium. Okay, now which are the elements? Cerium, praseodymium, neodymium, promethium, samarium, europium, gadolinium, terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, thulium, ytterbium, lutetium. After lutetium, hafnium, tantalum, tungsten, rhenium, osmium, densest metal, osmium. Then iridium, platinum, gold, mercury, thallium, lead, bismuth, polonium. This is the last non-radioactive element, lead. इसके बाद में सब radioactive. You bismuth, polonium, astatine, radon, inert gas. Then we are having francium. This is a radioactive metal. Okay, 87 is atomic number over here. Then we have what? Radium. Again, you know very well. Radium is a radioactive element. Then actinium to lawrencium. Here, now see here how the elements are present. They are present not in this manner. They are present in this manner. Like imagine karo, you are actually what, for example, spreading out the chessboard, and you are when you're placing those coins, okay, what is that, coins or what do you call it? Pieces ऐसे रखें. तो अगर suppose ये periodic table ऐसा है, तो आपका ये element ऐसा है, twin tower जैसा. इसे नीचे से यहाँ lanthanum के बाद कौन सा cerium, praseodymium, neodymium, promethium ऐसा है. Twin tower. अभी ऐसा है तो ऐसा दिख रहा है. या फिर इसको नीचे प्लेस किया ऐसे, पर ऐसे नहीं है, ये ऐसे twin tower. When you placing on the x-axis on this particular floor, तो आपको ऐसे, ठीक है? Okay. So ये idea, and why they are placing, why mostly sets, arrange these elements together, because they have close resemblance. So study becomes easier. They are like senior citizens. Sir, we are together. We are in our old age home. Right now, old age home, laughter club. They are so resembling each other and they are enjoying their life. They are the elements which are having close resemblance. Remember? Okay, and therefore they are placed together. So we don't want to mix up with these people because we are ourselves so advanced that we know computer. Because some of us, our senior citizens are the expert in computers, expert in IT. Okay, तो यहाँ पे हम लोग साथ में रहना चाहिए, अलग अलग नहीं, क्योंकि हम लोग का रिजेम्बलेंस बहुत अच्छा हो गया, अपना रैपो अच्छा हो गया. यहाँ पे थोरियम, प्रोटोएक्टिनियम, यूरेनियम, नेपच्यूनियम, प्लूटोनियम, अमेरिसियम, क्यूरियम, बर्केलियम, कैलिफोर्नियम, आइंस्टाइनियम, फर्मियम, मेंडेलिफिकम, नोबेलियम and lawrencium. Okay, then rutherfordium. Rutherfordium is from the word Rutherford. Okay, earlier it was Kurchatovium by Russian scientists. Kurchatovium. So when Russian they came out with this particular element, it was mentioned as Kurchatovium. Old textbook में देखेंगे तब. Then American did not agree to this because American is what, Americans are one side and Russians on the other side. Two superpowers they were. So they did not accept it. So International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry came. That organization gives the name for various elements. Then they said, since everything is now printed in English, so they selected Rutherford. But still Russians, they use Kurchatovium. Okay? Anyway, now this has been enough because we are using English books. We are having Rutherford. Otherwise, Kurchatovium is the name. Anyway, Dubnium, Seborgium. Now this Seborgium, he was living at the time of this periodic table. That means he named, because he discovered this element, and it was a rule that any person who is living cannot, for example, write his own element's name in the periodic table. But he wrote. He was a contemporary kind of person. Means his name was there when he was living. So Seborgium, Seborg. Okay. Then borium, hafnium, metranium, damstadium, rontgenium, copernicium, neoium, flavorium, moscovium, livermorium, tennessine. Oh Ganeson. Oh Ganesha बोलते ना वैसे. Oh Ganeson. English. Okay. O G A N. Okay. E S O N. Sun आ गया last. Okay. Now, if you see this periodic table is a white periodic table. Now, if you see on the left hand side, the metals are present. This central area we are finding metals. But before we go for that, this periodic table is divided into 4 types of elements. The elements which are extreme right hand side, 18 group, are called as what? Inert gases or noble gases. They don't participate in the reaction. Why? Because they have zero shell incompletely filled. Since all the shells are completely filled, clear? Okay, they are completely filled. That means number of shells incompletely filled will be zero over here. That's why they are also called zero group elements. 18 group of zero भी बोलते हैं. Okay? That means they are completely filled and therefore they don't participate. They are like Tatas and Birlas. They are never losers or gainers. Remember, they always are stable. Then normal elements are those elements which are in the first group, second group, and then directly 13 to 17. What is the difference between these elements and this? Is they are having one shell incompleted. Therefore, they are highly reactive. They are in the desperate state. One step forward and they are attaining stability. Okay, that means they need only one shell to be completely filled. Therefore, they are very reactive. Like sodium catches fire in water. Potassium catches fire in water and oxygen. That's why they are placed in kerosene. Highly reactive element. Likewise, fluorine, they are famous for snatching the electrons. Okay, and therefore they are likewise transition in between. They are actually what the reactivity is less because last two shells are incomplete. That's why copper never catch fire. Copper, if you keep, that's why you can drink water in copper vessel. You can drink water in silver vessel, gold vessel. Nothing to worry. Why? Because they are less reactive. They are reactive, but they are less reactive. In fact, they are more on the noble side. Copper has silver and gold. But others are not that much noble basically. Okay? So here, if you see these elements, this is a full metallic area, okay, of 40 elements over here, clear? And these 40 elements are called transition elements. So why? Because the properties are transiting from this end to this. That means as we move from this side, there is a transition in the properties. So when you come from 8th standard to 9th standard, there is a transition in your properties, your behavior, your voice changes, your behavior changes from, for example, a cool behavior, you become uncool. Or you become, for example, uncool to cool. Other way also. You listen to everybody. There's a transition. Sir, मेरा voice change हो रहा है. 9th में आपको मालूम पड़ा change हो रहा है कुछ. Right ना? Okay? And you become sometimes cranky. Sometimes. But it's not your mistake or anybody's. It's a hormonal change. 9th standard में होता है और फिर बाद में कहाँ पे होता है? 16, 17 में होता है. कुछ अपना, if you see bio teachers, will explain you that. Hormonal changes. Okay? And likewise 11, 12, when you go to 12th standard or after that, okay? So that there are ages where you will find that the changes are automatically, naturally happening as a matter of fact. Anyway, that's why we do counseling for 9th standard, 8th standard. So when they move from 8th to 9th, फिर तुम्हारे स्कूल में counseling. यानी पूरे सब ग्रुप को बता देते हैं कि देखो ये आपका changes होगा, डरना नहीं है, as a matter of fact. So every school is having this kind of counseling also. Anyway, now what is important over here? If you see that the bottom of the periodic table, there are 28 elements, including lanthanum. Now, lanthanum belongs to this particular group, okay, transition, but we are placing them along with them. Why? Because these elements are following lanthanum, that's why. Okay, otherwise this 14 and this 14, 28 elements are called inner transition. Why? Because the last three shells are incomplete. That means they are less reactive. And they are placed at the bottom of the periodic table. One question is asked, where are the inner transition elements placed? So one inner shell is incompletely filled. At the same time, you'll find the elements which are in the first group, except hydrogen, called alkali metals. Why they're called alkali metals? It is because they react with water and form alkaline solution. Why these elements are metals are called as alkaline earth metals? Because these elements are always in the form of earthy form, that is oxide form. ये हमेशा ऑक्सीजन को फेवर करते हैं, ऑक्सीजन इन लोगों को फेवर करते हैं. They form in the, remain in the form of, in the earth as what? Oxide, magnesium oxide, calcium oxide. Okay? And when they react with water, they form what? Like magnesium reacts with water to give you what? Magnesium hydroxide. आपने पढ़ा है lower standard में. The hydroxide of what? Whether it becomes alkaline. Alkaline means basic. How a soap, when you actually what use with water, it becomes soapy to touch, slippery. They are alkaline basically. Okay? At the same time, the elements which are in the 16th group are called as chalcogens. The elements which are in the 17th group are called as, one more mark question they can ask you, halogens. Why they are halogens? Why they are chalco? Chalco means, sorry, challo. चलो बस आते हैं ना, oh time is up, no problem. Chalco means ore forming. You can understand, you know very well, copper exists in the form of what? Copper sulfide, copper oxide, zinc exists in the form of what? Zinc sulfide, zinc oxide. Their favorite elements with metals are what? Sulfur and oxygen. Why? They have 6 electrons and they actually what? To complete their octet, they require 2 more. And zinc and these elements, they lose 1 or 2 electrons. And as a result, they are very much favorable. And therefore, they form ores. That's why they are called as chalcogens. They are called as halogens. Why? Just last point. These two already I have told you. Halogens means what? They are salt forming substances. If salt forming substance, suppose fluorine reacts with sodium, आपको क्या मिलेगा? Sodium chloride. But what is sodium chloride? A salt. What is the identification of salt? One metal, other non-metal. हमेशा salt का ये definition है normally. Okay, we'll have a short break. You relax for 5 minutes, and then we'll go ahead with that particular part. We'll not rub it out because अभी और explanation है. And then we'll go for the question and answer till whatever we have done. Okay.